YURI from Argentina, super proud to be Latina. Yeah, that's basically who I am. I grew up with my mom, my granny, and two brothers. Very poor area. It was a little more like a little bit hardship growing up over there, but it was a good hardship, I have to say. And nowadays, I don't really appreciate every single bit out of it. I appreciate it back then, I appreciate it today. But it was, yeah, mainly was us. Yeah, it was mainly us. I remember one more person, but it's not worth to mention. But then that was the core of the family, at least at the time. As a young, when I was back then young, it was hard. Like it was really hard, but it was a different growing up. Like I wouldn't say that no one, absolutely no one here in Ireland have seen that. It was a little bit more difficult. I had my outlets, which was dancing and theater and whatever else that I could be stuck into. Like I would be doing something arty. But it wasn't easy. It was definitely not easy. But I loved it in that way. I appreciate everything way more now. And like I said, even then, if I hadn't grew up in that way. First person that I said was to my mom, my brothers, they were all in the same room. And remember that like just yesterday. It was a program that it was in NTV. I can't remember which program it was, but I remember that I was looking at that woman. I was just like, gosh, she's so hot. Like literally, she was all hot. Like, and I remember that I just said it out loud, and they were like, okay, so that's great, fine by me, which I was lucky. I was really lucky on that sense. I might had a lot of struggles in when it comes to school until the age of 14, 13. But by the time that I hit 15 and I moved, I changed myself to another school, which was all my friends were in it. And I felt that I could be whatever the hell that I wanted to be. And I was just being myself because I had the support of my family in the back. Like they never say anything negative, which I keep saying I was very lucky. As I remember one of the things that my mother said, and I'm pretty sure that in some point a girl had heard it from someone, is, oh, at least you're not gonna get pregnant. Like that was the thing that it just got the most of her. But the second thing that she told me was like, just please don't show it outside. And it wasn't because of her, because a lot of people will be, I don't want to be ashamed of my daughter or my son or whatever. It was more, you don't know how people is going to react around. It was that sort of thing. But what it was, my family was very supportive. They didn't actually care. Like I could bring a girl, I could bring a boy in my house, and it was absolutely fine. The one that did care was my dance teacher, because she saw me grow up. Like she met me when I was 7 or 6, and I was with her up till about my 18s. She was the hardest person to take it in. She was pissed off, angry, and I remember my ex-girlfriend being outside waiting for me. Well, at the time, my girlfriend, we are super best friends now, but she was just standing outside, and she just happened to hear how we were just shouting at each other, because I was really passionate with what I wanted to say. And I remember that she said, going like this, as you go in with this sort of people, you will never do anything in your life. And I of course, I went crazy. But that was the only person that I had that it was the hardest person that it took it the most. But when it comes to my family, they were the most supportive. They were sound. I had a friend back in the day, and we just reconnected now in the last couple of years. And he was the one. We were, I don't know, 15, 16, 15, and he was the one taking me to every single pub, nightclub that it was around. Like he will know so well the bouncers that they would let me in even though I was underage. We were both underage, like, but he was having a good relationship with the bouncers, so we were getting in everywhere. But yeah, he was basically the one that basically showed me the ropes. Because for more than I liked the girls as much as I liked the boys, and I was so open about it, and it wasn't around the area that I was in, I would actually get to know people like that, because it was so dangerous already as he was living there that he wouldn't show that much anyway. So you kind of have to remove and go to the city, like go to the safer zone where everything is just normal. Don't go so country that you might get shot by it. But he was the one that took me everywhere. He was the one that introduced me to every single group of friends that he has, the most strongest, and they chose the one for night out. I will always be grateful to him about it. Like every single girl that I have hooked up, he was right beside me, like, yeah, Yuri, like type of thing. Like it's so annoying. Like, but yeah, he was the one, and I really appreciate that, because it wasn't a girl, but definitely was himself. Like, definitely not. I think that they tried once and they failed big time. And I think it was something that they were more so red and horrified to trying to talk about it with teenagers. I just remember that he went like, we're gonna have this, and it just went really bad. Like it was really bad. That was one time and not even. So no, never. They had never. Pride in Argentina was huge, was amazing, because I never saw anything like it. Like just going down with all the caravans and everybody, and the music and the DJs and the tracks and the shows, and in the middle of the city had so much going on. Like, oh, I loved it. It went on for so long, but the day of the Pride itself, I remember that we went like very early in the morning. We stood the entire whole day until around 3-4 in the morning, until we head off to a nightclub as well and kept going. It was amazing. It was the best Pride that I ever been, was there in Argentina. I just loved every single second of it, because it was very inclusive for everybody. I remember the community just been dancing tango normally, man, female, dancing tango this time, 2 females, 2 men. It was so beautiful. I just loved it. And it was for everybody. Here in Ireland, I keep saying I have my reserves about it, because I was a little bit shocked, but then I have to say it was here in Galway, not in Dublin. So I haven't been in the one in Dublin yet. I owe that. I have been the one here in Galway, and it was very disappointed for my liking. Very disappointed. I just felt that it was more for the drags than for the actual entire whole community. More like let's showcase them, rather than support everybody that it was in it. And I remember so vivid, like it was only 2 or 3 blocks just walking there. I don't know if Adrian, you were here in the one in Galway, or if you always were going away from here, but I just remember being there, and it was like, okay, there's a lot of people here. Like normally don't get to see so many people from Paradise LGBT, but 2-3 blocks done, over, that's it, goodbye. And I was like, are you serious? Like, this is it. You have only one day on the entire whole year to brush the colors out. And that was it. That was all it was. So then after that, I said, like, next time I'm going to Dublin, even though I hate Dublin, I go to Dublin, I don't know, somewhere else, but not here.